Hey everybody, Mike Iaconelli back out here in the shop. Want to talk to you about a bait that I talk a lot about, but not in this size. And this is the Lover Magnum by Molix. Just to give you an idea of the size difference, here's our original Lover, 1/2 ounce. It's great when you're fishing normal conditions in shallower water. But now we've got this Lover Magnum. And when you look at that thing, I'm going to pull it out of the pack, you get an idea. This is a lot bigger profile bait. So it's a great bait when your forage is bigger, when the bass are chasing bigger forage. But this is what I want to talk about, the Magnum Lover as a deep water, offshore ledge bait. Man, it's so different. Think about lakes like Guntersville or Kentucky Lake, where those deep water bass have seen a bazillion crankbaits, a bazillion big worms, a bazillion jigs in deep water. But I bet you they've never seen a giant Lover down there. And this thing weighs over 1 ounce, and it's a huge profile. It sinks quick, but it's got that same action as the original Lover. If you look at that giant, we call it a reverse shovel lip, you kind of get the feeling for what that bait's going to do. It's going to have a tremendous amount of vibration and side-to-side wiggle. You know, when I'm fishing it out there on those ledges, there's a couple things I do. And the first one is I almost always add a trailer. And we've got a really big 5/0 hook on the back of this thing. Of course, it's got the keeper barbs on it. And when I'm fishing on that deep water offshore ledge situation, my favorite trailer for that thing is a swim bait. So grab your favorite swim bait. This is a Berkley Power Bait Rib Shad. And you can modify the size of that really to mimic in on the profile. But in a place like Kentucky Lake that has giant gizzard shad, I leave that whole thing like that. I never even bite it down. And I'm going to thread that bait. Of course, you could rig it weedless, but a lot of times I'll just thread it on there. And those keepers are going to keep that bait nice and straight. And now look what you end up with. Look at the size of the profile of that bait. It's basically a giant vibrating jig. And I'm going to throw it out there on that ledge. I'm going to let it sink to the bottom. And basically I use what's called a feathering technique. And the feathering technique is once that bait hits the bottom, I take my rod tip and I go from 3 to 12 and I pull it. And then I let it fall back down and follow the slack back down. And in feathering, you can imagine what it's going to do on that ledge. When you pull it from 3 to 12, it's vibrating, and then when you let it fall back down, it glides back down to the bottom. And it does it erratically every time. It's a great technique when those fish are deep. The heat of the summer, late fall, when those fish get in those ledges, give it a try. That's the Molix Magnum Lover. I guarantee you they haven't seen that on the ledges yet. Try it.